Welcome back to the channel, where unbelievable talent, heart-touching moments, and life-changing performances come alive. If you love emotional stories from the world's biggest stages, make sure to stay with us till the end, because today's story is one that left the entire America's Got Talent stage frozen, and the world speechless. It all began on a quiet Tuesday night. The judges were seated, the audience buzzing, but there was something different in the air. A soft hush fell across the auditorium as a young woman stepped onto the stage. She had no extravagant outfit, no loud entrance, just a calm presence that felt strangely familiar. The judges exchanged curious looks. Simon leaned forward, trying to read her expression. "My name is Liana," she said softly, "and tonight I'm singing a tribute to someone very special." There was something in her tone that made the audience lean closer. Just a few seconds later, Simon asked the question everyone wondered: who is the tribute for? She took a breath. "My father. Michael Jackson." Instantly, the crowd gasped. Some covered their mouths. Others whispered, unsure if they heard correctly. Simon's eyebrows shot up as he tried to process it. The energy in the room changed completely. This wasn't just another contestant. This was the daughter of one of the greatest entertainers who ever lived. But Liana wasn't there to prove anything. She wasn't there to ride a legacy. She was there with a purpose, to honor the man she loved, not the superstar the world knew. The music began. Soft, emotional, almost like a heartbeat. She closed her eyes, lifted the microphone, and started singing a hauntingly beautiful version of "You Are Not Alone." Her voice didn't sound like Michael's. It didn't need to. It had its own purity, its own pain, its own truth. It was fragile yet powerful, filled with memories only a daughter could carry. With every note, people in the audience wiped their tears. Some stood up quietly, unable to stay seated. Even the judges were stunned. Sophia pressed her hand to her heart. Heidi's eyes glistened. Howie leaned closer, whispering, "This is unreal." But it was Simon whose reaction shocked everyone. For the first time that season, he wasn't analyzing, judging, or critiquing. He wasn't looking at technique or performance. He was simply listening, completely lost in the emotion. The man known for his harsh comments had tears slowly filling his eyes. He blinked hard, but they still fell. Halfway through the song, the screen behind Liana lit up with an image of Michael Jackson holding her as a child. The entire room broke. People cried openly. Phones dropped. And Liana, without missing a note, continued singing through her own trembling voice. When the final note echoed through the hall, the entire auditorium fell into absolute silence. Not because they didn't want to clap, but because they couldn't. They needed a moment to breathe. Then suddenly, the silence shattered into a thunderous standing ovation. The judges rose instantly, clapping like their lives depended on it. The audience screamed her name. Many were still in tears. It felt less like a performance and more like a moment in history. Simon stepped forward, still emotional, and said something no one expected. "Liana, your father was one of the greatest artists the world has ever seen. But tonight, you reminded us that behind that legend, there was a father, a human being, and a love only you could express. This wasn't just a tribute. This was magic." He paused, letting the words sink in. Liana, overwhelmed, covered her mouth, trying not to cry. And then, without hesitation, Simon slammed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti exploded from the ceiling like a storm of tiny stars. The music swelled. The audience screamed louder than ever. Liana fell to her knees, crying into her hands as her mother ran onto the stage to hug her. It was a moment so powerful, so emotional, so unexpected that even the cameramen were seen wiping their eyes. Simon walked onto the stage and hugged her gently, saying, "Your father would be proud. The world will talk about this moment for years." Backstage, Liana said something that touched millions online: I didn't come here to be Michael Jackson's daughter. I came here to be the daughter who loved him." Clips of her performance spread across the internet like wildfire. Within hours, millions watched it. Within days, it became one of the most talked about golden buzzer moments in AGT history. Fans around the world wrote comments saying they felt Michael's presence in the room. Many said it was the most emotional performance they had ever seen on the show. And just like that, Liana's life changed forever. Not because of fame. Not because of the golden buzzer. But because she finally shared the part of her heart she had kept hidden for years. This was more than a performance. It was healing. It was love. It was a daughter reaching out to the world and saying, "He wasn't just a legend. He was my dad." If you felt this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. There are many more inspiring moments waiting for you here. Until next time, stay inspired, stay emotional, and never forget the power of love expressed through art.